What's up, guys? This is Jack, or MLB Talk 123 here with Matt on the Jack and Matt Show, or the Matt and Jack Show, either one. And today we will be doing a test run to just talk about a few things, including the Reds and the Cardinals, as Matt is a big Red fan and I'm a big Cardinal fan. And obviously, you know, the two teams do not get along very well. So, Matt, any opening statements about how the Reds are doing this season, just to kind of kick off the show?
Yeah, the Reds, obviously they're in first place right now over the Cardinals,
Sadly.
who I very much dislike right now.
Yeah.
I dislike several players on the Cardinals, but
We'll get to that later, yeah.
yes, we will. I mean, the one thing about the Reds is they'll go on a streak where they will win about 6 in a row, and then they'll lose a couple. They never really go on a big losing streak. They've kept their lead in the division so far. That's been the big difference, is the fact that they don't lose like 3 in a row, 4 in a row, unlike last week they did. But
Yeah.
other than that, they're winning 6 in a row, losing a couple, winning a couple, and then they'll go on a roll. So that's the big difference right now, I think, personally.
So do you think they've been somewhat inconsistent this year up till a few weeks ago when they got hot and St. Louis kind of started falling?
Yeah, they were definitely inconsistent, especially offensively. Their offense is now coming around. Votto is definitely an MVP candidate right now. Got a couple other players heating up, Brandon Phillips, Jay Bruce. Their offense is pretty good outside of Votto. I mean, Votto obviously is great, but...
Yeah, I agree. I think Votto is now the top vote getter or something like that for the All-Star game. So, yeah, he's having a standout year. Well, partially for that, though, the NL just does not have the first baseman talent they had last year. Pujols gone now. Fielder gone now. So, I mean, he's going to be an All-Star starting until someone overtakes him, maybe someone like Anthony Rizzo, who started off tonight and actually has 2 hits tonight. But I want to talk about a trade that it was a huge trade when it happened. I want your thoughts on this. Looking back on it, so far, what do you think of the Matt Latos trade? You know, not just thinking about the start that he had the other day, but, I mean, in a general consensus, what do you think of it?
Obviously, Latos has struggled a bit this year. I personally like the trade just for the fact that you've got Yonder Alonso, who was not going to play anywhere with the Reds. Now they've got Votto locked up for 10 years. They tried him out in left field. They were going to try him out in third base. Definitely did not work out in left field. He was terrible. Went through the years without him done. He was actually worse than Adam Dunn. I never thought I'd say that.
Wow.
But defensively, he's not good. Yasmani Grandal, blocked by, obviously, Devin Mesoraco. We've got 2 young pitchers with Mesoraco and Hannigan. Brad Boxberger was going to be a closer, and they had just signed Ryan Madsen at the time. They had Madsen there that was going to be the closer, so he was not going to be anywhere. Other than that, I mean, I like the trade. Volquez was terrible.
Yeah.
So
he's done pretty well in San Diego, though, I think. Well, obviously it's a pitcher's park, though. I mean, a huge pitcher's park. But, yeah, I mean, it's not a terrible trade. I think if you're just looking at the talent that they had to give up, they're paying a pretty hefty price for him for what he's done so far. But the fact that he's cost-controlled, he's 24, and obviously I think when he gets really comfortable in Cincinnati, you kind of see some of those issues I think will diminish, and he might turn into that 16, 17 game winner that the Reds wanted when they traded for him. But also Sean Marshall. Now, I'm not paying attention to the Reds much. Has he been a huge role in your bullpen this year after you guys traded for him?
As a closer, I mean, he only blew 1 save. I don't know why he was removed from the closer's role. Personally, I mean, they took him out of a couple games when he had struggled, but he wasn't doing terrible as a closer. I think his setup job is a lot better. I think he is more comfortable in that role. I just didn't. He would get ahead of the batters as a closer. He just couldn't put them away. But he's definitely played a role as the setup guy, not as the closer.
Yeah, I think obviously one of the premier left-handed, or if not one of the best, if not the best, left-handed reliever in baseball. So the Cardinals would be extremely lucky to have him because Mark Zepchinski has just been terrible this year. And that's really been the main issue with the Cardinals. I think inconsistency with offense and the relief pitching has really put them down. But the fact that we've only won 1 less game than the Reds, but we've lost a few more, yeah. But, I mean, we're 2 games back. Now, this Cardinals team won 5 in a row how worried are you that this run will continue now that we got some guys healthy, John Jay's healthy, the pitching has been good of late, and it just hasn't been the offense there, and now you have really the offense that you want to see. Are you worried that this Cardinals team is just going to win like 8 in a row and the division lead is gone going into the All-Star break?
I could see it happening. I don't think I'm worried. I think the Reds will continue that, hopefully.
Yes.
I would hope they could continue that at least. Like I said, the Reds will go on a run, and then they'll win a couple, lose a couple. Hopefully that continues up until the All-Star break. If it doesn't, then yes, I am worried.
Yeah. I mean, do you see them, are they in a position, I guess, to make a move if it becomes closer, the All-Star break? Are they in a position to make a move, or do they not have the prospect talent at this moment to go and get some help?
They are definitely not deep in the prospect area.
The Cardinals are.
Right. The Reds, as far as prospects go, they got Joey Gathright. That's their best guy in AAA right now. So I don't know what the Reds can do as far as a move goes, but they definitely, I think, need a cleanup hitter. Brandon Phillips is not the prototypical cleanup hitter that you'd want.
Yeah.
Especially since Dusty doesn't want to bat lefties back to back, being Votto and Bruce. But I think they could use another bat. Carlos Quentin, possibly.
Carlos Quentin, yeah.
That's a name that's thrown around because the Reds do definitely need a left fielder.
And
Love has not produced that much.
I mean, you don't want to give up a top prospect, but if you really need Quentin, you look at the top 20 prospects. I mean, you do see Billy Hamilton, which any Red fan would not want to see give up. 80-something steals is absolutely ridiculous. But no, I don't see the Reds ever trading Billy Hamilton, number one, or trading him for a bat for 2 months. I don't see it happening, obviously. But in the Carlos Quentin trade, you could see just kind of a mid-end prospect, maybe somewhat of a top 10 prospect, go, because he's going to be valued more because there just aren't that many hitters in the trade market, especially now that Euclid is gone, which is an interesting deal, I think, in a lot of ways. But the White Sox really didn't have to give up that much. Really what you're looking at there is just them paying some salary and 2 players that, A, would probably not play, Zach Stewart for the White Sox, or play a big role, and then B, Brett Lillibridge, who, he said like 200 this year. So I think that was a pretty good trade for the White Sox. But no, I don't see the Reds making any moves because I feel like they kind of just made all those last offseason. They gave up a lot of top prospects. They spent some money. So I don't see them making a move. I do see the Cardinals making a move. And I think if you're a Reds fan, you should be a little worried because of the fact that the Cardinals really have not been playing to their full potential. I mean, they've had injury after injury. Alan Craig has been injured. Matt Holliday was injured for a little bit. David Freese was injured day to day. Lance Berkman has been out the whole year pretty much. Chris Carpenter has been out. Our number 3 starter, Jaime Garcia, has been hurt. John Jay was hurt for about a month. Matt Carpenter was hurt for about a month. I mean, you look at Skip Schumacher, who plays a pretty good role in the clubhouse, hurt for a while. I mean, all those guys, and now they're starting to come back. So I think that when we go on a run, I think it's going to be really close division. I think that the Cardinals and the Reds will be literally fighting maybe at some point this season, as they have in the past. But tonight I see the Reds. This is good. They're keeping their momentum. They needed a win badly. I mean, the Cardinals are on a roll. They have a fantastic win last night. Another good win tonight. If they lose tonight, they're only one out. But, Drew Stubbs, who I think recently came back from an injury, correct me if I'm wrong, he's been pretty disappointing in years past, right? I mean, pretty inconsistent guy.
Absolutely. Strikes out a lot.
Yeah.
Not a good leadoff hitter.
Yeah, that's what I saw. A lot of strikeouts. Has some power, though, which is nice. But he's not really that young prospect-y type anymore. He's not old, but he's not to a point where you're like, where you can just say, hey, he's 22. We can just keep letting him play, and hopefully he'll strike out less next year. But no, I think tonight obviously was a great night for him. But let's get to something else that is causing some controversy. Aroldis Chapman, did you see the somersaults?
I did. Yes.
What did you think?
I don't know what to think about that.
Is that pretty petty, though? Is it kind of a petty drama right there that they'll cause, the somersaults?
I mean, the kid was excited to get a save.
Yeah, he was.
He's struggled lately.
Yes, he has.
Dusty Baker said after the game it has been addressed by Brian Price, and a lot of the other players were not happy about that.
Yeah.
Personally, I think it was showing up the other team. I actually had someone respond to me when I said that and said he's just showing some emotion like Jose Valverde. I don't see that
Yeah.
because Valverde, he shows it consistently,
Mm-hmm.
or else Chapman doesn't do
Sure.
somersaults off the mount consistently.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, I think if he did that every time, it would be his thing. But I don't think any team would let someone with his talent do somersaults every time either. I mean, you got to at least worry about the injury part. I see the Reds reacted with concern because he could injure himself, offend the opposition, or probably both. And then also in this article, they talked about a few of the players talking to O'Brien Price. Obviously, it said by the time Chapman returned to the clubhouse, the smile he wore on the field was gone. He rested his forehead on a bat and he sat silently at his locker. He declined comment, and he said he was not mentally ready to take questions from the media. So he's had some veteran guys talking to Chapman for a few minutes. I kind of feel bad for the guy. I mean, he's struggled a lot recently. He does something here, obviously not very smart to do, showed some emotion, and now he's going to be in trouble with the media. I kind of feel bad for the guy, but, I mean, tell me about his struggles, because I'm not a Reds fan, but I have had to deal with Jason Mott, and our bullpen has been terrible. I mean, Jason Mott, I think, and Aroldis Chapman are tied for blown saves, and our bullpen overall, I mean, Zapchinsky, Salas, all these guys who were great last year have had ERAs above 5 this year. So it's been disappointing, but as a Red fan, they signed him to a pretty big contract. He was fantastic earlier in the year. What are your thoughts on Aroldis Chapman's inconsistency, not having very good secondary stuff, relying on just a fastball? You see a lot of home runs hit. So has he been disappointed in your eyes this year?
Early in the year, he definitely was not a disappointment, but he has been a little bit recently as a closer. I don't know whether maybe he gets a little too amped up as the closer or what, but he does not throw many sliders lately. He has thrown a lot of fastballs. You throw tons of fastballs to hitters, a hitter will catch up to it, regardless of whether it's 101 miles per hour or not.
Yeah. Then when they do, it's gone.
Yeah, so I think he's got to mix in his off-speed pitches a little more. I don't know whether he's not comfortable with it. He bounced a lot of balls up there today at the plate. So I don't know exactly what his struggles are contributing to lately. His velocity wasn't there recently, but his velocity has been back up the past couple games through, I think, 99 tonight. So that was better.
Yeah.
But he's throwing a lot of fastballs.
Well, you got to say, that's the important thing. And we're about out of time on the video. Thanks for watching again.